Welcome to our wonderful friends around the world. We are so excited to be together today. So
Yes.
excited. Often we say we're with our best friends. This is different. We're with Trevor Soulier, who
Yeah.
happens to be
Uh,
our grandson, and we're so thrilled. And he is driving right now, so he can get here and go to the temple. So we'll talk about that as we go on.
That's right, Trev. Oh my goodness, this
oh
is so
no.
fun. We are so excited to have you and your family with us in Utah. They're driving from California because of his big weekend. We get to celebrate him and his mission call and going to the temple and all those things. So, anyway, Trevor, we would love to have you just tell us a little bit about your um, things that you like and things that you've done, and just kind of introduce yourself. We want to say first that this guy is incredible. He graduated from high school at 16 and then went to BYU Idaho, and he has deferred that for his mission and will go to BYU in Provo when he gets back. This
Which
guy
is great because he'll be
loves,
closer to us.
that's right. We love that. Absolutely. This kid loves the outdoors, sports, music, theater, self-development projects. He's just a goer. And yeah, Trev, so what other things do you like? And just tell us a little bit about yourself.
I think you talked better about me than I could. But so yeah,
We like
I
to brag about
absolutely
you.
love. So a little bit about me. I love the outdoors, like Grandma said. Yesterday I spent most with people. That's those.
You're cutting out, Trev.
Uh, yeah, I love business. I love being able to develop myself and my mind. I really hope that I plan on studying business at
Yeah, we're losing connection
give
with
me
you,
an
Trevor.
opportunity to get it done. So yeah, I really just feel like
So, Trevor, we're
I'm
catching
a
about every
regular guy
other
with
word right now.
it. Can you guys hear me?
We heard
I
that.
think I think we have like no internet.
Okay, we're going to talk about Trevor for a minute while he gets his internet up because they are traveling right now.
We must admit that his farewell talk is probably one of the best farewell talks we've ever heard. And his invitation to all his friends and all of us to remember that there are three major things we can do to prepare for our lives in a very meaningful way. Let's see if we can hear
Sorry,
you now.
am I back?
Yes.
Can you hear me now? Sorry. Sorry like that. Where did you last? Sorry, what did you last?
Okay, we're just talking about your preparation and things that you did for your mission. And maybe tell us a little bit about your premonitions that you might go where you're going.
Yeah, so I was like 12 or 13, so like 5 years ago. We had the general primary president come to our stake, and it was at the time it was Sister Joy D. Jones, and she gave a great testimony, and I remember feeling the spirit at her fireside, and it was great. And afterwards, everyone lined up to shake her hand because she's the general primary president. So my family gets in line, and we were like towards the end, so we waited a while to finally get there. And when we did, I went up and I shook her hand, and I was like, "Wow, I gotta shake her hand." And then I move on, and then this other guy who I didn't know who it was, but it turned out it was her husband. He like comes up to me and goes, "Hey, what's your name?" And he like sticks his hand out to shake my hand. And I was like, Trevor, like really quickly, didn't know what was going on. And he goes, "This is the only thing he's ever said. He said, 'Hey, Trevor, I think you're gonna go to Sweden on your mission.'" And then he like moves on. And I was like, like, okay. And I kind of walked on, and I like just like stood there and didn't know what was going on. So for a while, I just thought I was going to go to Sweden and thought it was kind of made up. But I am not a cold guy. I have a really difficult time in the cold. So hearing that was not fun for me at all. But I was able to like work through it and come to the conclusion that if I was going to go to Sweden, if that's where I was really called, like, then God needed me there, and I would have to work through the cold, and it would make me a better person to go through that. But thankfully, I wasn't actually called there, and Brother Jones was wrong. I got called to the Dominican Republic, and that's a lot warmer than Sweden, and I am super grateful for that. But in terms of preparation, I've been doing a lot of like Spanish study. I use the Embark app a lot, and I talked to my dad in Spanish, which is really fun. He served in Mexico City when he went on his mission. So yeah, I've been doing that, which is great. And then I've also been reading books and conference talks every day. So I just finished this book called What to Know Before You Go, which is a missionary book, so a missionary preparation book. And I absolutely loved it. If you are a missionary if you're preparing for missionary service, I would 100% recommend it. I loved it. And then, I just listen to a conference talk every day. And I think what the biggest preparation has been for me was receiving the Melchizedek priesthood. I received that on Sunday. I was going to having that sense of responsibility and authority has helped me like focus more and like kind of be like figure out. I think the two things it's done most is, one, help me realize what kind of man that I want to be, and two, help me commit to being that man every day and not to do those things that like aren't in line with who I want to be, even small things like what to say or like what activities to be a part of or not to be a part of.
Oh, love that.
Awesome. So you mentioned in your talk that the study of the Book of Mormon has made a big difference in your life too. You were encouraged when you were young to start reading it every day. Do you want to say just a word about that?
Yeah, so on the day that I got baptized, my dad gave me a Book of Mormon, and he testified that it's of the power that it's had in his life and the blessings that have come from him reading it every day. He's a really good example of reading it every single day. Like, I don't remember the last time that I haven't seen, like my dad hasn't taken time away from the family and away from work to just go read the scriptures for at least like half an hour, which is amazing. And he's a really good example of that to me. So he gave me that Book of Mormon, and he testified of it to me. And I really wish I could say I've read it every day, but I've missed some days. But because of him sharing his testimony and giving that to me, I've had the opportunity to build a habit almost every day. And of not just reading, like going through the motions of checking off, like I've done it, but having a testimony and like reading to understand and reading to learn, to like apply what I've learned to my life. And so it's I've learned a lot about, one, reading the Book of Mormon, but also of testifying what you know to other people and the impact that it can. Yeah.
You're back. Maybe.
Oh, sorry. Was I gone?
Just for a minute.
Yeah. So I know that the Book of Mormon is true, and that has led to me being more open to serving a mission. For a while, I was not open to serving a mission, but building my testimony and strengthening it, and especially in the Book of Mormon, has helped me feel like that is not only a good idea, but what I should do, because I've been called to the work and I'm able to go.
So beautiful.
That's beautiful. Yes. Oh, goodness. Yeah. So what kind of other things did you do to prepare, in addition to reading the Book of Mormon and getting the priesthood, and kind of what other things would you advise other young men and young women to do to prepare?
Yeah, so in my farewell talk, I highlighted the three biggest lessons that I've learned in preparation for serving a mission. The first one was to I called it make the choice and be all in, which is just make the choice to have a testimony, like choose to have faith. I've learned that faith is a choice, like an intentional thing you have to choose every day. So during that time where I was like uncertain about a mission, I didn't have a strong testimony, and that led to me having more and more doubts about a mission. But strengthening my testimony has been the best choice I've ever chosen, the best choice I've ever made. So strengthening your testimony, and then to do that, you have to be all in. To choose to have faith doesn't mean to just I don't know. When you have faith, it leads to action, and then action leads to more faith, and it leads to blessings. So choosing to have faith in the gospel and to show up to seminary, to show up to church, to show up in your home makes all the difference in your character and in your testimony. Secondly, I talked about testifying of what you know and what you live, which I talked about briefly about with the example of my dad sharing the Book of Mormon with me. Doing that has been a really big blessing in my life as well. So I've learned that from that experience, and that was when I was really young. So since then, I've had a lot of opportunities to testify and to know of what I know and what I live to people who have made fun of me or who doubt or who criticize the church. I've had actually a lot of friends recently leave the church, which is hard, but it's provided a lot of opportunity for me to say I know that this is true and to testify of what I do know. That has strengthened my testimony. The Gordon B. Hinckley said, sometimes testimonies are better gained on the feet testifying of them than on the knees praying for them. And I loved that. And I found it to be true. Yeah. So good. And then the last piece of advice that I would give anyone is just to surround yourself with good people. I really feel like I'm just a regular person with the coolest family and the best friends on earth. It really is just true. My mom has provided me with so many great opportunities to get ahead and to work hard and to develop myself, including graduating high school early. I wouldn't have been able to do that if it wasn't for my mom and my dad providing for me. So it really is just who you know that creates the culture you live in, the environment you live in, and ultimately your character. So yeah, just surround yourself with good people. And if you're around people who aren't helping you stay close to Christ or get closer to Christ, then either have an influence on them, and if you can't, then get better friends. It's hard, but it's true.
That's so beautiful. This weekend you're going to the temple. You want to say a word about how you feel about that?
Exciting.
There are so many emotions with going to the temple for me. So I'm the way my brain works. I love to understand things and how how they work and everything. But with the temple, you kind of don't know everything about it until you're there doing it, because we're not allowed to really talk about what goes on in there because it's so sacred. I understand that, but I do wish I understood how it fully works, which leads to two emotions, which is kind of I don't know, unease about not understanding all of it, but also excitement to know how it does work. So that I feel that way, and I also feel super privileged to be able to go right after I turn 18 and right before I go on my mission, and to go with my family, which is the best blessing on earth, especially grandma and grandpa.
Yeah, we're so
I'll tell you, lots of your family's going to be there.
Oh yeah. I'm so happy about that. That will make the biggest difference. But yeah. I also think along with getting the Melchizedek priesthood, the endowment will help me have more access to power, but also just more responsibility and more covenants. I will have made more covenants after this weekend, which will help me keep me in line, and also give me more sense of purpose and of power with the priesthood.
That's so beautiful. You've been so great.
So, Trev, before we close, tell us a little bit about the Dominican Republic and what's it going to be like for you?
Oh man, it's gonna be like heaven on earth. I'm so excited. It's gonna be warm all year round, like 90s with 90% humidity and lows of 65 at night, which that might sound hot to some people, but that to me is like awesome. It's an island. They speak Spanish there, and they eat a lot of rice, beans, and a lot of meat. So it is like actually a fun fact. Before I opened my call, my family was like talking about like, hey, if you can go anywhere, where would you go? And I was like, I'd love to speak Spanish. I'd love to serve on the island. So probably the Dominican Republic. And we kind of were like, okay, that sounds good. And then I opened my call and it was like so familiar. I was like, oh yeah,
Of course.
I'm going to the Dominican Republic. But that's not how it is for everyone. I feel really blessed to like already love my mission. I've learned that every missionary learns to love where they go, whether that's before or after they serve. I just feel blessed to already love where I'm going.
Yes, you do.
Oh, it's going to be amazing. And when do you start?
Cheers.
When do you begin this adventure?
I start home MTC on March 31st, and then I leave for the Mexico MTC or CCM on April 9th, and then I leave for the field May 14th.
Yeah, we did know all that. We just wanted you to share it.
Yeah.
So we're excited to write you, email you, and support you. We are so grateful that you are willing and worthy and ready to serve. And I know the Lord just is so grateful too. And
You are so prepared.
You're
We're
so
just so proud
prepared.
of you.
And those people are just going to love you. And those that you get to teach and share, I think there'll be so many angels in heaven cheering that you were there teaching their people.
Yeah, for sure.
So thank you.
Anything you'd like to share in closing?
I don't know, just one, I have the best family in the world, extended and immediate. And like, two, Jesus is real and he's aware of you if you're listening. And if you're not listening, he's still aware of you. And don't, the best choice you could ever make is to turn to him. Number one, it's the best choice you could make.
That's so true. We love you, Trevor. Can't wait to see you today.
Too. Yeah,
Love
see you
so
today.
much. Yeah.
Enjoy your travel.
Drive
Very well.
carefully.
Share this, everyone. This is just inspiring to see this remarkable man share his beautiful feelings about what we do to prepare for life. It can help all of us. Bless us all.
Mhm. Thanks, Trev.
Thanks, Trevor.
Of course.
Bye.
You guys.
See you shortly.